Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our very first podcast here at Tea Time with your hosts,
Julia
and Omar. Today we have a special guest named Taylor. Thank you for coming, Taylor.
Thank you for having me.
So just tell us a little bit about yourself and why do you like sports?
My name's Taylor. I've been playing sports since I was 5 years old. I played baseball for 16 years. I played football, played golf, played basketball. So I played pretty much everything. Now I'm big on coaching kids, watching them develop, watching them grow. It's a big thing for me. So again, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
And what would you say your favorite sports team is?
I would think it's the Boston Red Sox.
Then they just won.
They just won the World Series, so that's a good
Big
thing.
plus, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully the Astros win next year.
I doubt it.
So today we're going to discuss the WNBA pay and why a lot of them decide to go overseas. We're going to talk about sexual abuse scandals with the world of Olympic gymnastics with Larry Nassar, and we're going to talk about cheerleaders and how their pay isn't as good as what people think it would be. So today we're going to talk about WNBA. So from what I know, a lot of women that are really good in WNBA get paid. Their max pay is $109,000. So I just want to know, like, what is your take on why you think women in the WNBA don't get paid so much?
Good question. I feel like women in WNBA, you got your players like Sue Bird, Deanna Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Della Dawn, that are great players, but they don't get paid compared to anybody overseas. With overseas, the biggest thing is soccer. So a lot of it is based on that. So they need another sport overseas to cover, because you don't have football, you don't have the big sport that the United States has. So a lot of this stuff you have to have another sport in overseas. So WNBA gets, kind of
Pushed
put to the side because everything's based on football, basketball, baseball, the main sports.
It's a lot of male-dominant sports.
Exactly. So now you seeing more players, especially WNBA players, going overseas because they get more pay.
Yeah.
And so, I guess what would you think the future of the WNBA here?
Eventually, I think WNBA is going to get completely just gone because now more players are going to realize I'm not making any money here because I just don't have the opportunity. It's a male-dominant sport. That's what the United States is. So I think, especially players coming out of UConn, Mississippi State, Stanford, Baylor, they're gonna just go straight out to overseas because, like I said, like we've been saying, they gotta get some type of career, and unless they're like the star player, they're not gonna get the type of endorsements like Brittany Griner and these, superstars.
Yeah.
So I think eventually WNBA is gonna be completely washed out.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere saying that the women overseas are getting paid 10 times more. So, like, if you think about it, if you're like a college athlete and your passion's basketball and you want to make a career out of it, and you go into, trials thinking like, in this league here in the United States, I'm gonna be big, like I'm really good, this and that. But like at $109,000, like, and you look at these male-dominant sports, just like basketball, Steph Curry, they all make millions of dollars, And I'm not saying that it's more lenient in women's basketball, but I mean, they're out there, blood, sweat, and tears and everything the same way as males, So I just feel like maybe what the WNBA could possibly do, which I doubted, but they should, get paid more, because like they're out there doing what everyone else can't do, like us,
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with them. So on our second segment, we're going to talk about the sexual abuse scandal with Larry Nassar. And what do you think, like, you see the future of like the gymnastics? Well, United States gymnastics.
I think they're gonna get way more strict than they did before. With the amount of players that came out about the Larry Nassar thing, I think it's always been a serious issue. I just feel like now, given the fact that now you have Me Too, all
I was
that,
just about to say the Me Too movement, yeah.
all that type of stuff, you gotta have that stuff. It's gotta be aware. They're gonna have to have
More restrictions.
more restrictions, and I feel like you gotta have like a sexual harassment or sexual misconduct like universities have for incoming freshmen.
Yeah.
Because if you're not aware of it, you will never know. And finding a way for these women to come out with it, because I know it's gonna be tough and it's gonna continue to happen. But finding that balance or finding that way to prevent it or, decrease it
Yeah.
happening is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like you were
I
saying
think,
off
yeah,
camera, you
I
were
was like,
saying.
I think the good start would be, just providing a more comfortable environment for these women to come out to, because a lot of women that unfortunately it does happen to, like, they don't want to come out just because, they don't feel safe and they don't feel like people believe them. So I feel like they, enforcing, like sexual harassment, like courses and like that. I think they should still continue it, like you were saying, and also just find a way to be more, like, have an open.
Yeah. And like you were talking on camera, you were saying that like a lot of these big teams like Baylor and stuff like that have been doing it for multiple years.
Right.
Like, they've been pushing it under the rug just because like it's their star athletes that are the ones doing it, and without those star athletes or giving them like sentences or like making them lose game or like not playing games, it's gonna only hurt their, I guess you could say, career as the team. Because like if the star athlete did these allegations and you send them off the team for 3 or 4 games and they lose those 3 or 4 games, they're losing money, you're losing fans because fans want to see this player. It's just like, I feel like since this happened, like, not saying that a lot more people or organizations have came out with sexual abuse scandals, but I just feel like you said, there's so many of them that always push it under the rug just to like help their own organization.
Right. Like I said, like you piggyback what you're saying, with the Baylor thing for sure. I know a few years ago they had that Pacific player that was, I think he sexual harassed over 3, 4. It was quite a bit, but they never said anything, and that's what led to our brows getting fired, because it continued. It was always happening there, but like you were saying, when you have, especially about that time, Baylor was a powerhouse.
They were.
And they were always on top of the Big 12. They were always going a pretty damn good bowl.
Yeah.
So that's money, and that's fans, that's that's endorsement, sponsorship, and that's putting Baylor on the map.
Yeah.
So, like you were saying, it's about the organization, and they treat it as such, but it's not protecting the women that's happening
yeah.
too. So
That's true. So our last topic is about cheerleaders and how much they actually get paid from what people think that they get paid. So we were reading earlier, and it said that these cheerleaders, specifically the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader girls, that they get paid $50 to $150 per game. And that's only 8 games, because the other 8 games they don't go to these away games.
exactly.
So like, what do y'all partake in now? Like, what do y'all think?
They're making $1,200. Just put that in perspective. They're making $1,200 for a whole season. The amount of money that these teams make, especially the Dallas Cowboys, one of the richest teams in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and these women making $1,200.
Yeah,
Per
they
season.
definitely
That's
can
per
afford to
season.
get
Yeah, that's
more.
per season, and they definitely should get paid more. And like you were talking about off camera, when they're getting paid, outside of games, like if they're making appearances, they might make $50 for the hour or however long. But that's not all of them. That's just a few that they choose to bring out there.
Mhm.
So really, how are they being able to do that? And they gotta get second jobs because that's not supporting them. So I just feel like they gotta find a way to where, cause they bust their ass every day just to make the team.
Yeah. They have to have a certain weight.
Exactly.
A certain way, yeah.
So
That's true. I just feel like these teams decide to like just put most of their money on obviously their star players, and like they don't really look at who they have. You know, like not saying that they're lower level, but like these girls out here are to like make the fans come also, because like if you look at the Dallas Cowboy girls, like people go to these games to watch these girls. You know, like yeah, they go to the games to watch the football game, but they also come to like watch it because it's entertaining. Like
right.
the whole sport is entertaining, and like these girls are out here to entertain us, you know. And the fact that they're only getting paid that much, like it's not right. You know?
I think so too. As like like the head bosses, I think they kind of just see these women as just glorified, like models, just being there, like just as just a picture. I don't think they're really recognizing how much work and effort they're putting into being a cheerleader.
Right.
And even that, like their position on the season is just as like a professional athlete football player. Like you never know, they could get injured or anything, and their position on the team is by season. They don't have like those full contracts like football players do. So
Right.
I mean, I think it's just all like, I think it comes like you said earlier, it comes from the top. Like they need to be recognizing, they're actually putting in the same work.
What do y'all think these organizations should do, especially when it comes to that? Because it's not like they don't put the same amount of time
Yeah.
that anybody else on that organization.
I think they should like regulate pay, even though like these girls have to come back every year to try out.
Absolutely.
Like I feel like maybe 1,200 isn't enough, or like they should do like incentives, or like I don't know. I just feel like them getting paid that little is not right, and they should find other ways of like helping them get type of money, or like helping them get a job inside the organization after they leave cheerleading. Because like a lot of these cheerleaders know a lot about the organization, and like they love the organization so much because they're in it. So like why not help them get a job inside the organization afterwards?
Right.
Instead of just like making them have another side job.
Yeah, I think so too. Like it's weird. Like they're paying these women $150 a game, knowing that they're pretty much spending all their time practicing for the football games. Like they don't see that we need to be paying these women more. Like they also need to be making a living. They also have like families to take care of. So I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a little weird that they're not paying them as much as they should be getting paid. It's too weird for me.
We have a trivia game for Taylor. Julia made it up, and we'll see how well he knows women in sports.
All right, Taylor, we're gonna test your professional woman athlete knowledge.
All right, let's get it.
So our first question for you is this female professional soccer player was on the cover of Sports Illustrated for her iconic moment of taking off her shirt and making the game-winning penalty that won the U.S. Women's National Team the 1999 World Cup.
Okay.
You have Brandy Chastain, Abby Wambach, or Mia Hamm.
Is it Brandy Chastain?
Brandy Chastain.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Okay, I see you. Okay, you're 1 for 1.
Okay.
Okay, so this tennis player won the 2017 Grand Slam title at the Australian Open while 20 weeks pregnant. Venus Williams, Serena Williams, or Naomi Osaka?
Venus Williams.
It is Serena Williams.
She's the one that was pregnant.
Yeah, she's the one pregnant. Yeah. All right. Next, we have this WNBA team just won the 2018 championship, giving them their 3rd championship title. Yeah. You have Seattle Storm, Washington Mystics, or Dallas Wings.
Dallas Wings.
Seattle Storm, Sue Bird.
What was the question again?
This WNBA team just won the 2018 championships, giving them their 3rd championship title.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I was thinking you said something else. I don't even know why I said Dallas Storm.
That's a good guess. Okay. This professional tennis player played for the gender equality in sports when she played against her male opponent, Bobby Riggs, and won. You have Maria Sharapova.
You gotta tell me. Is it Billie Jean King?
Billie Jean King. Yeah, there
already.
you go.
You gotta tell me the answer.
The comeback.
Two for two.
Yeah.
Alright. This NASCAR driver works with the former New York Yankee Derek Jeter at the Players Tribune that allows athletes to write and control their own content. You have Danica Patrick, Ronda Rousey, or Sue Bird.
It's definitely that.
Yeah, Danica Patrick.
You know,
That one's
that's,
a
you
giveaway.
know,
That's a giveaway.
that's a, you know, you kind of gave me a little.
Yeah, I gave you.
I really said, I meant to say Serena. I don't even know
You
how.
said Venus.
I said Venus. I don't know. I got Miss.
Her sister, so I mean, I would assume.
No, but Venus is like the.
The opposite
Yeah,
side sister.
Serena.
Serena's
Yeah.
more like up
I
there.
don't even remember when Venus won
Yeah, I don't
A
remember.
title.
either.
a title.
Unfortunately.
She plays her sister and gets absolutely destroyed.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's unfortunate. But,
Well, that was everything for today's segment. We want to thank you again, Taylor, for giving us your time and your
Thank you
opinions
so much for having me.
about everything.
Absolutely.
We'll see y'all next time.
on tea time.